You guys want to talk about health care? Let's get the show on the road. I want to apologize. We have a lot of people that couldn't get in, and they're in the cafeteria, and I want to apologize because they're online. We probably have 700 people or 800 people, and people still coming in. So one thing about... I want to say to you, I want to thank you for coming and thank you for caring. America's counting on you. It's counting on you and your thoughts and ideas. I just want to say simply, it's an honor to serve you in Congress. People say, Vern, I've done 7 town halls. I haven't done one in August, but we have a lot of calls. So we scheduled this on Tuesday because so many people want to talk about health care. But to me, I'm a representative. I tell people it's nice to be called a congressman, but at the end of the day, I represent you. So I'm not going to give a long speech, so you can applaud that. What I want to do today is really hear from you, your thoughts and your ideas. I don't care if you're 6 months old or 106. Everybody's impacted by health care. And we need to get the best possible situation coming this fall. And when we get back up there after Labor Day, we're going to be dealing with this potential bill. There's 3 bills in the House. They're going to have bills in the Senate. There'll be Republican bills and Democratic bills. But most important, it's really about where we need to go as a country. What's best for America? What's best for Americans? That's what we're going to talk about right now. Now, let me also apologize up front. When we booked this, we couldn't find a forum as big. We had another place that didn't work out. We couldn't find a forum as big as we wanted. So this is a great new school in Manatee County. But, and I've got 2 kids, it's the 9th grade orientation with their parents. And I think there's 500 9th graders coming here at 6 o'clock. So let's get... I don't want 600 parents mad at me. So let's get going. What we're going to do is let's take your question or your comment, and we're going to have a couple of mics to pass. Please, we want to get as many people in as we can. I want to hear from you. And so be concise, make your point with passion's fine. Let's get started. So, Sally?
Hello?
Hello? Now it's on. Thank you. I'll be as quick as I can. Health care costs amount to 1/6 of our entire economy. 81% of the American public feel that the President, Congress, and any participant in their medical plans be covered exactly as they would be, with no other options. The proposed health care plan is unknown to anyone in reality. Please remember, if there are not specific exclusions of particular ideas in the plan, they can be added with ease, just like that. I'll get this to a close. We all need to look at President Obama and his czars and advisors. The Emanuel brothers, Ishmael, the movie mogul, and Ram, the ballet master, are typical of the lowlifes, not to mention the thugs and thieves he has surrounded himself with. Think about this mess and be sure you vote.
We've got Danny over here. Let me just say that I do agree with you. There should be no better plan, health plan for Congress than any American citizen from that standpoint.
Good afternoon, Congressman. My name is Kip Sampson from Palmetto. I have to read a statement. I need glasses here. First off, this is our sign. In Canada, a country that is a single-payer health care system like you guys are trying to give us, it's been proven in the long term that this plan does not work. This health care system that is run by the government, in fact, like most government agencies, is a cash cow. It's extremely overburdened and inefficient. Huge amounts of tax revenues are needed to keep this program afloat. The tax burden on a middle-class family with a single-parent household. Now, this figure is a fact, and it's taken from from 2008 figure. For a $35,000 income single-parent family, it's a staggering 59.6%. This is a combined tax revenue of local and federal. The total is a 59.6 tax rate. For a two-parent household making $65,000 and a combined tax rate is 47.7%. And this isn't enough to fund the program, let alone us, who has a $700 trillion additional loan to pay back from Obama's giveaways and bailouts, etc. Because their system is overburdened and underfunded, to keep spending at a minimum, health care is rationed and selective to who gets what. If you really need something, or if you need to get to go see a specialist, the average wait is 17.3 weeks. Claude Castonguay is the man in Quebec that headed the government agency that created this single. I'm a little nervous here.
That's all right. That's all right. Take your time.
This single payer health care system has declared it as a crisis and has acknowledged the need to eliminate the government monopoly of health care. Sorry, and let me get where I'm at. Has declared the crisis, acknowledged the need to eliminate the government's monopoly of health care and the need to allow more privatization. So while you people in the Senate and the Congress and our president are blowing smoke up our butt that things will be the same and better for us, you're leading us the same direction in health care that Canada has. They are turning our current health care system that allows they are turning to our health care, back to our health care system that allows for more privatization. Yes, our system needs improvement, but we don't want you to vote for this plan of Obama's. We want you to vote no for his health care system.
Thank you. Thank you.
One more thing, most important. One more thing. We are being pushed into a socialistic system for a socialistic country. We are not a socialistic country. We are America. We are freedom for all and freedom of choice. We would like you to vote for that.
If we could just ask everybody, because there are a lot of people here who want to speak and we have a very limited time. So if you have handouts or things like that you want to leave with us, we're more than happy to take them and the congressman will look at it. But try to keep your comments as brief as possible.
I'm going to be brief. For one thing, I assume that we're all Americans in here. For a second thing, I assume that most of these people I could be friendly with. So if I have a disagreement with any of you, you could listen and I'll listen to what you have to say. The gentleman that just spoke for the last, I can't keep track of the time, I've had it on a stopwatch, but said that the people of Canada are unsatisfied with their care. And he may assume that the people of France and the people of England are unhappy with their care. If you go there and ask those people, you'll find that the vast majority are very happy that they don't have to go bankrupt. That's very nice of you. And so, I think we all recognize that we do have a problem. We are paying more than most of the rest of the world, even countries that are not as successful as ours, and we're getting less. And the way we're getting less is you don't think you're paying your taxes now for people who don't have health care. You are. When they go to the emergency room and it has to be paid for, it's paid out of your taxes. So in a way, I've been on Medicare now for 13 years. And during those 13 years, I have gone to every doctor that I chose. I'm serious. Did you have something to say while I'm talking? You must be pretty stupid if you behave like that. But anyway, I'm happy with the care.
We got to wrap it up.
I'll wrap it up quickly.
Okay.
I'm happy with the socialist, what you call socialist Medicare. I'm happy with the VA. Ask any veteran. Thanks very much for being so cooperative.
Okay.
Thank you. My name is Rachel, I wanted to thank you for your co-sponsor of the Medical Rights Act, and I'm not sure everybody gets that, but there are other options out there. We know that there needs to be reform, and we're aware of that, but this bill that's on is not it. And I say that as a mother of an 8-year-old who's been diagnosed with a really rare medical diagnosis. I like the idea of my choice. We live in a country we've been given the Constitution for the ability for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I believe that we have the right to make those choices, and our freedoms are being slowly, but very rapidly ripped away from us, and we don't want it. So again, I commend you for your stance. I ask that you continue to do that. My question for you though, how do we support you? What can we do to get your continued word out against a Congress who can do what they want? Yeah. They can pass this if they want it. I don't believe as a whole, want it. And for the gentleman who did last speak, to set the tone, let them speak. We may differ, but let's have them say their piece. But there are places in this world where there is socialism, and you can have that, and you can be told what to do and not have your freedoms, and you have the ability to go to those places. But for us, let's fight and leave our freedoms alone.
Hey, Danny, let me just say thank you for your personal story, your daughter, so I appreciate that. But I think the way that you help me, help other members that are interested, I think most of them are interested in their own way, is by being here like you are right now. That helps me represent you. And I want to, there's passion on both sides. I want to listen to both sides, but I've told people up front, I'm not huge on single payer. I think the big thing I want to see is this attack cost. In terms of insurance company, drug companies, we've got to deal with trial lawyers, legal reform. There's a lot of things. I'll just say this and we'll go to a question. I'll just say this and we'll go to a question real quick. I was with a person yesterday, and I'm a blue-collar kid, been in business 30 years. I've bought a lot of health insurance for our family and a lot of others. The system clearly needs major reform. There's no question. Guy in my office yesterday, his family, 63, his wife, and he's got one child or something, but there's 3 of them. They're paying $1,500 a month for health care. I was the chairman of the chamber locally here in the community for 2 years. The number one issue with small businesses, they either couldn't get health insurance or they couldn't afford to give it. We've got to find a way to reform it, and that's what we're talking about, how the best way to do that. On the stage, all righty. Sir?
I just want to say one thing about Medicare. To get an old man like myself into a situation where they're going to deduct $500 billion from Medicare is a no-no. This is my 5th week out of a dual hip surgery. 2 hips were replaced, and most of it paid by my Medicare that I paid for the rest of my life. I'm not going to go with the Obama plan, and I hope you don't either.
Thank you.
Because I will not. I will not pay for illegals. I send them back. I will not pay for abortions. And all my life I paid into Medicare, and the best system in the world is the USA system. And I hope that we don't give any more money to Acorn.
Let me add one thing the gentleman said. I will absolutely stand with our seniors. $500 billion in cuts in Medicare is the wrong thing. We've got to find a way. We have I'm number one in the country. You know for what? In this congressional district, number one. I have the most seniors 65 and older, 176,000. And that's probably true of a lot of congressional districts in Florida. So we have to stand with our seniors. We've got to get what's best for Florida, what's best for America, but we've got to stand with our seniors. They have made a lot of sacrifices from World War II and everything else to help us with our freedom. Now, I'm for the idea of looking at waste, fraud, and abuse in terms of Medicare, and I think there's ways we can be more efficient, but I'm not interested in taking it from the seniors and giving it to somebody else, whoever that is, because I think that's the wrong message. All right, we got Danny.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. My name is Glenn.
Just call me Vern.
Okay, Vern. Thank you. This is from an article.
I'll work for you.
Thank you. From an article, a recent article in the Wall Street Journal. I'll read it in part. The assault against seniors began with the stimulus package in February, slipped into the bill with substantial funding for comparative effectiveness research, which is generally code for limiting care based on the patient's age. Economists are familiar with the formula where the cost of a treatment is divided by the number of years, called QALYs, or quality-adjusted life years, that the patient is likely to benefit from. I'd like to know if it's already too late for Grandma, and if you could comment on comparative effectiveness research.
Well, I did a town hall with seniors, and it took 30 questions. A lot of them, and this is my 8th or 9th town hall, but a lot of them were concerned about the government making the decision for them about what they can get and not get. A third of them were concerned about that. They said, look, all I've got, many of them are blue collar, work 30 years in the factory, all I've got is my Social Security and my Medicare. And Medicare is not perfect, but it's not bad. And I don't need to have someone screwing around my Medicare and having someone in Washington telling me what I can do and can't do with my doctor relationship. So that's a big...
Congressman Bill Grant. Okay. The president came out of the box on this saying that this plan is going to save us money. That raised a certain amount of questions with the American people, with the government taking over the idea of it saving money. And so, everything that he has said subsequently, people wonder about it. The Wall Street Journal today said that Obamacare is in trouble, not because, as President Obama maintained, folks are listening, but because they are. There are alternatives. The president of Whole Foods, and I'll give this to your associate, has listed 8 specific suggestions, none of which involve increasing taxes or cutting services. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Congressman, this is a question from our folks in the cafeteria, and we have about 300 people over there. It says, do you feel that people should have access to insurance at a reasonable rate, group insurance for all those that do not have insurance, at a group rate equal to those group rates for a company of equal number of people?
Yeah. Let me just say, right now, for a company to give Blue Cross Blue Shield to a family of 4 is over $1,000 a month. Everybody should have access to health care. It's got to be available and affordable. But we've got to we cannot, I don't care how you're going to pay for it or what you're going to do in terms of paying for it, that gets sorted out. But if we don't figure a way to drive down the cost from $1,000 to $500 to $600 a month, we've got a big time problem. And I don't think we need to socialize or move to a single payer system to do that. I think there's a lot of things that can be done yet in terms of that. But everybody needs access to available, affordable health care. But we've got it. It's been, I've seen it for 30 years. I've seen it with small companies. I see it every day where even the companies are putting more of the pressure on the employee. The employee's paying $300, $400 a month, and maybe the company's got a match. But at the end of the day, again, the employee can't afford that. Working families are being squeezed from every direction. And we've got to find a way to work together to get something that makes sense. Sally?
Good afternoon. My name is Leon Harris. I'm president of the Manatee Sarasota Democratic Black Caucus of Florida. For 6 decades, the House and the Senate have opposed health care reform. Even they were opposed to Medicare and Medicaid. President Obama's plan is to have health care for those that are uninsured and affordable health care for those that are paying high premiums. Most of the Republicans, and most of them are here, have stated their opposition to health care by stating high cost. President Obama has definitely diffused all of that. They talked about, he has, if you listen to him, if you listen to what he's saying, he has. He has even the conservative
let's hear
organization. I'm going to ask you a question.
Let's hear the gentleman out. I think everybody's American has the right to speak. So let's hear him out.
Even the advertising of these myths about illegal aliens getting health care, that's wrong. That health care benefits to grandma and grandpa are going, that's all wrong. Death notices, reducing seniors' benefits, that's wrong. And payment for abortions, all of that is wrong. If you all listen to this president, you will see that that's wrong. I'm going to ask him a question. When all of the polls in America,
let the gentleman finish.
When all of the polls in America state that 60% of our foreclosures are due to people not being able to pay for health care benefits, I would like to know what your position is against the 4 main reasons in opposition outlined that President Obama has stated. What is your opposition to his 4 main reforms?
Well, let me just say we've got 3 bills in the House. We've got 1 that's coming in the Senate. We do need to have major health care reform, but I don't think we need to go to a single-payer system. That's just my thing. But